hey guys, the storm's coming, so I'm just going to do it, okay? It's Ned here from I Flourish Hypnotherapy, and I have a confession to make, all right? The first half of my life, I was hiding that I was anxious. I did feel illogical bouts of overwhelm, and I was a worrywart. Now, going into the second part of my life, I'm 47 now, and those feelings of anxiety and overwhelm and worrying about little shit, it's all gone. And I'm going to tell you how I did it. All right. Now, at an early age, obviously, when you're born, you don't have anxiety and overwhelm. You're not born like that. But what happened was that I was in an environment where that was prevalent, and it was being shown to me, and I was seeing it every single day. And you think about it, when you have parents that come from the motherland in Europe and come to Australia in their late 60s, and they're coming here, and yeah, it's a great opportunity, but the other side of the coin is, it's a big deal. They don't speak English, you got to abide by a different system, you don't want to ruffle any feathers, and if you were taught to use worrying in the future as a tool to sort of solve problems, you're going to pass that on. And my mother was no different. She came from Croatia to Australia, and she was disowned by her father at 20. So she was already feeling overwhelmed, and then it was the anxiety that came and the worrying that came after that, that I was brought up with. And what I realized is that this was affecting every single part of my life, every single part. And it was so suffocating that in my late 20s, I just quit my job, my career, and I became a traveling salesman. And I just wanted to try and figure this thing out. And the weather has stopped. Okay, good. And I thought, figure this out. I thought, okay, let's get married. Let's have babies. Let's get a new home. Let's let's get this brand new career. And all these things that I was looking for was all outside of me. And I was looking at all these things, but I wasn't looking at the most obvious thing, which was myself, and looking within. So one day I woke up after a Christmas party with a hangover, and I felt embarrassed, and I was in pain. I drank way too much. And the very next day I said, right, I'm going to go see a hypnotherapist. I'm going to go work on my inside world. I'm going to stop blaming others. I'm going to look at, getting rid of these self-limiting beliefs, the self-sabotage, and stop blaming everything except, myself, Now, from that one session, what I learned was a lot about anxiety, about worrying, about, myself, which was the most important thing. And I pretty much made up my mind that I was going to become a hypnotherapist. And the reason that I did is because I believe that the best way to learn is to teach, but to help people who you can help, who have been through, who are going through the shit that you've been through. Now, I just wanted to learn about the subconscious mind and how it operates, and I've cleaned all that up. So I've stopped smoking, I've stopped drinking to escape my feelings. I have a much better relationship with myself, and I started to give myself the gift of deciding to change, my habitual thinking and beliefs and negative meanings that I put towards my past experiences. And now I feel empowered with the knowledge that I have, and I basically, if you've had enough of feeling anxious and worry and overwhelm, and enough's enough of these illogical thoughts, then reach out to someone that's walked through that dark forest and stepped onto the other side. That's the second part of my life. The second part of my life will be helping people and empowering people to get through that dark forest to the other side. And if this resonates with you, here comes the rain. If this resonates with you, just PM me, You know, we can have a 15-minute chat and see if I can help. You know, so it's Ned here signing off from iFlourish Hypnotherapy, helping people with anxiety, with overwhelm, and with being a worrywart. All the best. Enjoy the rain. Ciao.